welcome to the GiveSendGo Spotlight channel. This is where we spotlight our favorite campaigns and people that are shining brightly all over this world. If you've been with GiveSendGo for any amount of time, that is our tagline, shine brightly. You can kind of see it in the reflection on the TV right here. You can see it on our signs in the background, shine brightly. We want to shine brightly in everything that we do, in the good times, in the bad times. And I have the opportunity today to talk with somebody that is shining brightly. We talked a couple minutes before we started recording this, and it is evident that she is shining brightly across the world in sharing the hope that she has. So we're gonna jump right into it. This is Makenna. You have a campaign on GiveSendGo. The campaign URL for anybody that wants to go take a look at it is GiveSendGo.com/Makenna. That's MAKENNA. Very simple. GiveSendGo.com/Makenna. And you can read about her journey, her story there. So Makenna, why don't you just begin? I've read your campaign page. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what your campaign's for, what you're doing, what your fundraising, maybe you can't even say where you are, but just kind of what God's got you doing right in this season of life.
Yeah, so I am doing my discipleship training school with Youth with a Mission. And currently I'm on the second portion of the DTS, which is our outreach phase. And so I'm currently in the Middle East. And yeah, I can't say exactly which country. But it's been absolutely wonderful to see God moving in just the short time that we've been here. It's been 2 weeks so far, about 2.5 weeks. And we'll be staying here for 2.5 months total. And then we'll meet back up with our school and do a bit of a debrief before going home. So I'm super, super excited to see what else God's going to do while we're still here. And also just all of the revelation that us as a school are going to get to sort through and process with together during the debrief time. But what's super cool actually is that the first campaign I did with GiveSendGo was for my funding to do YWAM. And that was just an incredible experience. GiveSendGo was so helpful and honestly, like totally vital to me fundraising. But it was so good to us that we did a second campaign, which is for my midwife training that I'm actually beginning just 2 days after I get home from the Middle East. And so that is to start my training to be a missionary midwife. And that's the campaign that is it's super similar. I think it's literally just / Makenna Midwife.
Okay.
But that's our second campaign with you guys. And so that's how much we really appreciated your platform. So we actually, I have two. But
Fantastic.
The second one is what I'm doing next. So it's a training called Go Midwife in Montana. And yeah, I'm super excited. I didn't mean for the two seasons of life to kind of merge the way that they did, but God like totally called me to do this midwife program in the middle of my DTS. I think it was actually just 2 months ago that he was like, I need you to sign up and completely fundraise for this program. So yeah, that starts March 8th. And super excited.
Nice. Awesome.
So it's been really cool. Yeah.
So where on the state side did you say the first part of your DTS was in Montana?
Oh, the first part of my DTS was in Kona, Hawaii.
Oh, that's where you went. Okay. Yeah, we have some old family friends. I think Ron and Judy Smith. I don't know if they're still there. They were like some of the lead directors in Hawaii. But that was a long time ago. So who knows? I don't even know if they're still around. But yeah, beautiful place. Still meaning to get out to Hawaii sometime because I haven't yet.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you hear about GiveSendGo? Obviously you used us and now you have 2 campaigns with us, which is absolutely awesome to hear. Incredible.
Yeah.
But what was it that were you Google searching? I mean, what was it that caused you to use GiveSendGo in the first place?
Yeah, so my dad has been in missions pretty much since I was born. And so me and my siblings always grew up kind of like knowing what that field was like. My dad was on and off the field when we were growing up, but mostly worked as a missions director so that he would like equip students to be sent out onto the missions field. And so often we were commissioning missionaries out of the Bible college my dad worked at. And so getting to know these students, you start to understand kind of like the almost like protocol of a missionary. And so when they would get the amount, the super intimidating amount of money that they'd have to raise, they would turn to all these different platforms that were going to help them. And so a lot of my dad's students had been using GiveSendGo. And maybe they found it from like some search, but it worked for them and they were so blessed by it. And so as soon as I figured out how much I needed to do YWAM tuition, so that was the first campaign, I top pick was GiveSendGo, and me and my mom just didn't look at anything else.
Nice. Awesome. Well, I hopefully, and I don't know, one of the things that we started earlier in this year, and we've been ramping up, was we do have what's different. One of the things about GiveSendGo is a little bit different is on these other fundraising sites, you'll see the Give Now and the Share Now buttons, or Donate and Share. We have a Pray Now button where...
Yes, you do.
Yeah, because we understand the value of prayer and what it is for people, not only to receive it, but also to give it, because there's something powerful about allowing God to use you to give a word to somebody. But we put that pray button, and it's really a differentiator between us and every other platform. You're probably never going to see a Pray Now button on another type of social media funding site or anything like that. And people are able to send messages to campaign owners that way. But we also, even built off more on that, we have a prayer team. And these are people that are prayer warriors that we've hired on GiveSendGo. And they just call every campaign owner and they pray. And if they don't get through to the person, they'll leave a message on their voicemail or something with a prayer over them. I'm not sure if you've received that yet, or if you were the listed recipient to receive it. It looks like it would, or whose phone number it was, but they would have probably received a phone call. Do you know if you've received a phone call, or your parents or whoever may have been the phone number on there?
I think it is my mom's phone number.
Okay.
And I don't know that she mentioned it to me, but I'm sure that she appreciated it if she got it. I don't know, maybe she didn't know who was calling.
Yeah, right.
But I absolutely love that button, and that's a huge reason that we believe GiveSendGo like has blessed us so much, is just because especially going through YWAM and their training, like we spend hours every day in intercession and prayer sets here in the Middle East. Like my team does intercession every day. We're soaking ourselves in prayer. And so I can honestly say, I feel like it's a cliche in fundraising that you say like prayers are equally appreciated, but of course you're like, oh, but I wish you'd support me financially. But going through YWAM and just like intensive prayer training, I can honestly say like I do equally appreciate people who are praying for me. And so that button, and then also the option to like leave a message on when you donate. So now if you scroll through my campaign, it's not only the names of the people who donated and like what they donated, but it has that message of like, keep chasing Jesus, Makenna, all sorts of things. And it's just so encouraging. It's my favorite thing. Like I'll just go visit my campaign and like get some motivation when I'm having a hard day of ministry or something.
Yeah, you know what? That's so cool that you said that, because we've had so many different, thousands and tens of thousands of campaigns on GiveSendGo. And since we've added that Pray Now button, which we actually had for a while, but we didn't, all it was for years in the past was just a counter. So someone would click on it and the number would go up one, and that was it. There was no message attached to it. There's no ability to send a message. It was just something to count and show that somebody was praying. We've heard that same story about people who have found themselves in a difficult situation, needing to fundraise, began to fundraise, and then they came back with wow, I was having a horrible day because this was a really difficult situation I'm going through. And my first go-to was going into my campaign and reading these messages that people have sent me, and these prayer messages
Yeah.
from people. And some of these are really popular campaigns that have affected many things and reached over the world. And they're like, well, I'm getting, letters of prayer and support from people all over the world. The Bible's clear that life and death is in our tongue, the things that we say and the message that we give out.
Yeah.
And when we're able to communicate that to people, it is a life building thing for people. And so it's super important. I'm going to let you know, and you may or may not know about it because we're constantly adding features. But one of the features that we do have in the campaign dashboard is also the ability for you, Makenna, when somebody does write a comment or a note on a donation, is for you to actually respond to it underneath their comment. And
Wow.
yes, so, and it'll show up right under their comment, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Aunt Sue, for praying for me, or whatever. I love you, whatever. So it gives you an opportunity to even respond back. That's just another feature. We're constantly adding new features. Feel free, because we've got an amazing development team. If you come across anything and you're like, man, to have this on the site would be super cool, to send it over, because we're constantly upgrading. We're constantly looking. We're actually about to roll out a whole new update to the site with a whole lot of new cool features as well, which hopefully will be over the next month. You're going to see a whole new skin design. It's going to look really cool. So very exciting stuff. Yeah. But so those are some of the features and functions. So you've got 2 campaigns on GiveSendGo. I see GiveSendGo.com. Makenna, you blew past your goal. You did very, very well. I didn't check on the other one. I didn't even look to see if you had more than one on your dashboard, but you have 2. Makenna Midwife, you said? What's the URL?
Yes, I think, it should just be the same, www.givesendgo.com/Makenna Midwife.
Awesome. Yeah. So anybody that's
simple.
out there, super simple. And that's why we keep that custom URL. Make something simple so that people remember and can easily go to it. So those of you that are watching this, check this out. Makenna, GiveSendGo.com/Makenna and /Makenna Midwife. And you can read about her journey, all that she's doing. Makenna, I want to say thank you so much for being the hands and feet of Jesus to this world, because it needs it now more than ever. There's more people out there. We need people preaching the gospel. How beautiful are the feet of those who bring the gospel of the good news of who Jesus is. So I personally thank you, and look forward to hearing. One of the things that we're going to try doing as we develop this spotlight thing is bring people on that have been on in the past to give us updates to where God's moved them. And so people can kind of see their journey a little bit more in video. So would love in the future to have you back to talk about, probably maybe while you're in your midwife school, or how this DTS ended for you, and the transition, all of those different things. Thank you so much for using GiveSendGo, for sharing about GiveSendGo with your friends and the people that you run into. And I am so glad that we were able to meet. And again, if you've got any questions, feel free to email in, or suggestions. We'd be happy to take them. And I'm going to give you the last moment to kind of close out and say whatever you want to say to those that might be listening.
Yes. So thank you so much. It was so awesome to meet you and get to talk to you as well. I think it's just incredible that the heart of fundraising isn't embarrassing or like hard or simply being a burden on friends and family, but it's actually an invitation to invite people into your ministry and really minister to those who God's touching their hearts to give. And so it's been so cool to find a platform that's in alignment with that belief, and that it's not just something of a hindrance to people who are support raising, but that it's actually a ministry like in itself. And so I'm just so thankful that I was able to find a platform like that to partner with. because it's exactly what we did. I mean, I had people from way back in like the beginning years of high school that I hardly talked to, like reach out for my update letter, reach out for updates on everything, and we're giving, to me. And
Yeah.
so it was super cool to touch people's hearts that way, and not something you can do through GoFundMe. So it was absolutely incredible. It's awesome.
Cool. Well, Makenna, thank you so much for jumping on and overcoming the beginning technical difficulties that we ran into. But
Totally.
blessings on you. We are praying for you and hoping the best, and look forward to staying in touch into the future.